Most people don't realize they were raised by a narcissistic parent as a child. They find out as an adult when they start noticing patterns within themselves that don't make sense until they start looking back. In this video, I'm breaking down the 6 signs that you were raised by a narcissistic parent, and I really want you to pay attention here, not to recognize your parent, but to understand yourself better. Because a lot of the ways that you show up at work, in your relationships, and even alone started in that house. By the end of this video, you'll have clarity on where some of your patterns came from, and that clarity is exactly where healing begins. Sign 1, your feelings were always minimized or dismissed. Growing up, whenever you said how you felt, whether hurt, sad, frustrated, was either dismissed, ignored, or turned back on you. You heard things like, "You're too sensitive, stop being dramatic," or "You don't have anything to cry about." Or maybe you tried to share something that hurt you, and somehow the conversation became about them. Over time, you learned to stop bringing your feelings to the table. As an adult, that looks like struggling to identify what you're actually feeling, dismissing your own emotions before other people get the chance to. You might also feel like your feelings are a burden to those around you. I remember trying to tell my parent that something they said hurt me, and I was ignored. My feelings were completely dismissed. That didn't happen just once, it happened so many times. It happened so many times that I started to believe that my feelings were just too much. And this took me years to unlearn. Sign 2, everything revolves around them. In a healthy household, the emotional needs of the children are the priority. In a home with a narcissistic parent, it's the opposite. Their mood sets the tone for the entire household. If they were in a good mood, everything was fine. But if they weren't, then everyone else has to walk on eggshells around them. So you became an expert at reading the room from the moment you walked through the door. You learned to manage their emotions before your own. As an adult, this shows up as people-pleasing, hypervigilance in relationships, feeling responsible for how everyone else around you feels. And that's not a personality trait that you have. Yes, you might be caring, but it's not your personality trait. It's a survival skill that you learned as a child. Sign 3, love and approval were conditional. With a narcissistic parent, love and approval were never just given. They were something that you had to earn. Get the grades, behave the right way, make them look good, agree with them. When you did those things, they were warm and loving. And when you didn't, the warmth disappeared. It became replaced with coldness, resentment, or criticism, and even punishment. That inconsistency teaches a child that love is not safe. It teaches them that love can be taken away at any moment. As an adult, that looks like anxiety in relationships. It can also look like overgiving just to keep people close, because you're scared that if you don't overgive, then they'll leave. You might also have a deep fear of abandonment when there's no real threat of the other person leaving. Sign 4, your boundaries were never respected. Narcissistic parents don't recognize their children as people who have their own needs. They don't see them as separate people who have a right to their own thoughts and boundaries. They see their children as extensions of themselves. This means that your privacy was not respected and that your no was never accepted. Your opinions were often dismissed or ridiculed. Decisions were made for you without your input. And when you pushed back, you were told that you were being disrespectful or ungrateful. As an adult, that means that boundaries feel almost impossible to set, especially where family is concerned. Because every time you tried to have a boundary as a child, it was punished. Your nervous system learned that boundaries were dangerous. We talked about this in depth in the previous episode, so I'll link it here. If you're someone who walks away from a stressful interaction and you just can't stop replaying it in your head, you're tense, you can't sleep, and you're carrying around all that tension with you in your body, my emotional reset guide is exactly what you need. I made this just for you, and it walks you through how to calm your body after those stressful interactions so you're not carrying around that weight and discomfort with you throughout your day. It also has some practical scripts that you can use if you would like, so you can prepare yourself for the next time. The link is in the description, and remember, it's completely free, so go grab it now. Sign 5, Parentification is when a child is put in the role as the emotional caretaker for the parent. It happens a lot in the homes with narcissistic parents. Maybe you were the one that they vented to about adult problems. Maybe you were responsible for managing their emotions and keeping the peace in the house. Maybe you felt like you had to protect your younger siblings from their moods. You were a child carrying heavy emotional weight, and that creates a pattern in adulthood where you chronically overfunction in your relationships. You give way more than you receive. You attract people who want to be taken care of, and the rest feels so uncomfortable because you were never just allowed to be a child. Sign 6. You never felt like you were good enough. No matter what you did, it was never quite right. The criticism was constant. Sometimes it was subtle and sometimes not. Even compliments came with conditions or some kind of comparison. You did well, but you could have done better. Why can't you be more like so-and-so? I just want what's best for you. And they do this right before tearing something apart about you. Over time, you internalize that critical voice, and now it lives inside you. As an adult, it sounds like perfectionism or imposter syndrome, self-doubt, or feeling like you always have to prove yourself in order to be worthy of love or success. That voice you're hearing isn't the truth about who you are. It's the echo of someone who was never able to see you clearly. If you recognize yourself in any of those signs, I want you to know something. None of this is your fault. You didn't choose that environment. You were a child doing the best you could do with what you had. But you're not a child anymore, and recognizing these patterns are the first and most important step towards creating lasting change. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're tired of freezing in the moment and not knowing what to say, I have a resource called the Freeze Recovery Response Kit. It breaks down why you freeze, how to calm yourself in the moment, then gives you actual word-for-word scripts you can use in any situation. At work, in your relationships, with your family, with your friends. What to say when someone guilt trips you, or when someone makes a passive-aggressive comment, or what to say when something upsets you, but you don't realize it in the moment until after you're reflecting, you're looking back and you realize that, hey, this is something I wanted to mention. It gives you words for situations just like those. The link is in the description. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how to actually go about healing from a narcissistic parent as an adult, what that process looks like, and where to actually start. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. If this video helped you, save it so you can come back to it. And comment below, tell me which sign below hit the closest to home. I read every single comment. The links to both my free emotional reset guide and my Freeze Recovery Response Kit are linked below in the description. Both are designed to help you to take what you're actually learning here and actually apply it. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.